Dare to dream. I love that quote. Guys, new name, bigger vision, same duo. This is RKLB Fan Club. We are the Hustle Brothers. My name's Liam. This is my good friend, Chris, founder of the Haste Club. I will explain what the whole RKLB Fan Club's about. I will explain why we are retiring the name RKLB Daily. It's going to be exciting. I'm back, fire in the belly. We were burning out. Chris, how are we getting on? Bit of a break? Nice to have you back.
Yeah, we needed those few days, and it was a holiday, and I had, I think, too much fun, if that's possible. Too much fun. So I needed another day just to recover from all the fun. But at the same time, it's giving me a chance to sit back and get back to what I love doing the most, and researching and coming up with crazy ideas that are outside the box, but it gets other people thinking. And the kind of friends we have, we get them thinking, they come up with even better ideas, and we get better as investors. So yeah, looking forward to tonight. It's been a great few days off, but this is gonna be a fun week. Big week in markets too. Man, so much to get into. I can't wait.
Yeah, massively, and I will get into what happened. We did finish off at 1 o'clock on Thursday. Happy 4th of July, everyone. I actually forgot to say that to you as we were leaving. No, I want to say it was great having a few days off. Not going to lie, didn't look at the markets at all. Didn't look at RKLB initially until yesterday. Seen it was trending on X. Fair enough. But yeah, we are RKLB Fan Club. This is a new vision, guys. A bigger vision. Dare to dream. I said it in the intro. Dare to dream. That is what the Hustle Brothers have always done. That is what actually brought me and Chris together. We seen Chris on his live streams on X. And you know what? He was a dreamer too. And you know what? We're all dreamers. But the reason for the change, the reason for RKLB Fan Club. Guys, I want you to jump into the comments and let me know if this resonates well with you, or should we change back to RKLB Daily? It's completely up to you. You control the stream. You control everything we do here. But we have noticed over the past while, look, we initially started off with Daily. It was me and Chris, and we were talking away, and then we started getting a few guests on, and then it started getting more and more interviews, and it was like a fan channel. And that's where the RKLB Fan Club has started. I want to kind of branch away. We were getting compared, and you can look at the guys' comments. We were getting compared very heavily to RKLB Weekly. And I don't want to be compared to RKLB Weekly because them guys do an amazing job over there. We have great respect for each of them. We've had them all on. We will be getting Vince on very, very soon. But we have great respect for what all the guys do over there. And look, we don't want to try and be them. We don't want to try and compete with them. We don't want to be, we want to be an aid to everything they're doing. But look, we're trying to do something completely different. We're trying to do it our way. This is the fan club. This will be interviews with, look, all the investors you love. We're getting Ashley Vance on. We will get Peter on. We will get Adam on. And you know what? We will get Frank on. But no, it's a new vision. It's a new vision that I just want to instill in the community. This is a fan club. It doesn't matter whether you're invested or not. You just have to have a passion for the company, and we'll listen to you. Me and Chris are a little bit crazy. You do know that. You've noticed that over that 30-day challenge we done. We do like to put ideas out there, thoughts out there, and that will not change. I know some people don't like our, what do they say, hypothesis, but that won't change. To be fair, I don't care if no one watched. Me and Chris are doing this for the fun. We do not get paid for it. Do you know what it is? It's a myth around this whole space that all these creators get paid very, very heavily for it. Even the creators you follow massively, you'd have to have a massive, massive channel to be getting paid any sort of substantial amount. So, guys, do have respect for some of the creators around the community. We do this for the passion. Chris, what is your vision with this fan club? What kind of challenges do you want to set? Guys, if you want to set a challenge for us, throw them into the comments. The best challenge, the most, look, far-fetched but realistic challenge we'll go for. So do let us know. But Chris, any thoughts?
I think so. When this started getting kind of crazy on us and took off more than I expected, because again, I thought it was just gonna be like me and five guys. And like you said, if it was just us, I would still do it because it's a lot easier doing this than messaging Francisco and Brett and Jacob and Tad and everybody, and all these different people all day. It's just a lot easier doing this. So it's the lazy way out, I guess. But if I were to have a challenge as this thing has grown, you guys know I'm really passionate about people that are new to investing. As you also know, you guys, Liam and I both, we lost a lot of money, with Virgin, and we learned things the hard way. And as again, I'll say it 1,000 times, I have kids, and if you want your kids to succeed, you give them all the best advice. You don't let them learn the hard way on their own. Yeah, some things in life, sure, but you know what I'm talking about, especially when it comes to investing. So I think a cool challenge would be to everyone in the community to go out and, whether it's a family member or a friend or someone that you see that could possibly benefit. And, and you guys all know me, I don't have millions of dollars invested. I can't afford that. I'm just an average working guy. But, take what take your knowledge out there and bring other investors in. Share it with other people. It could be anybody, be someone you work with. It could be anybody. But I do that as often as possible, not just with my kids, but my dad calls me on a regular basis and asks me about just different things when it comes to different companies. My brother the same way. So I think that'd be a fun challenge. It's not something that you got to bring receipts for. I just think just an individual challenge you put on yourself to go out there and share your knowledge with other people. But that's just off the top of my head. Wasn't expecting the question, but I love the idea.
Yeah, guys, do jump in. Do let us know throughout the stream. What kind of challenge do you want? Look, there's a little bit of like bickering happening on X. Let's just all come here. Let's all enjoy ourselves. Look, we're all in it for the same reason. We all want to make money. We have passion about this stock. And why not make it fun while it lasts? We have RW. Sup, fellas? RW, big man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we did have a little bit of a break. Finally caught you guys live again. Do you know what? Guys, let us know. Did you miss us? Were you happy we were gone?
I was happy I was gone for a couple of days. I mean, I missed all you guys, but as you guys know, I live right. You can see I live on the river, and so for the 4th, all the neighbors, they go on the docks, and it's the best fireworks show in the world. It probably been a good idea, actually. Now I'm thinking about it, just to take the kayak out and bring you guys out live for that. You know what? I'll do that next year, hands down. Promise. Next 4th, I promise I'll take you guys on the river with me. But I did enjoy the time off, so thank you guys. Thank you guys for the patience. If you didn't miss me, I get it too. I got teenagers; they don't miss me most of the time. But as far as live too, I saw just before we came on, it does appear as if there is a Haste rocket on the pad at Wallops as we're speaking. I think Jacob said it wasn't until the 11th, maybe. So it's just maybe, I don't know what they're doing. But if it's at night, if they launch at night, I can see the stream, that long stream that comes from the launch. I can't see the actual rocket, but I can see it as far as the stream. So can't do it live, obviously, because they don't announce it. But if I do get a chance to actually get it or get a glimpse of it, I will try and record it. And I'll do my best. I mean, I try, we'll have fun either way.
No, do you know what? That'd be quite good. And RW, I did see your question there. I will actually answer it. I'll let the stream build up a little bit before I fire into that question. Yeah, I want to shout out to Wallops Vantage and Mapbox. They actually they were one of the first that actually thought it was going to be a Haste rocket. They're planning on between the 11th and 12th of July. Chris, by the looks of it, do you think it's going to wait that long, or do you think they'll get an earlier launch? The launch window is set for the 11th and 12th, as we've seen with the Coast Guard report we showed on Thursday. I'm getting all my days mixed up on Thursday. Yeah, but do you think they'll launch before then, or do you think they'll wait it out?
No, they'll do it whenever they have it planned for. I mean, any delays because of weather. We got some crazy weather coming in the next couple of days in Virginia. I don't know if it's going to be delayed, but if they're already putting stuff on the pad, that's a very good sign. But it is Haste, you know. You never know what they're going to do with that. I mean, hey, I was wrong. I just, because of the fact it was a Coast Guard and they actually put it out there, it caught me off guard because I thought that'd be an Electron launch. Now I'm more interested in which Haste launch it is. I could speculate that it's going to be Lidos or Lidos. I don't know how to pronounce that, guys. I say that every time. Someone correct me.
Call it Lidos, but
Lidos. Okay, we're just going to go with Lidos. That's what it is. If we're wrong, I'm sure someone will tell us. There's no doubt someone will tell me. But yeah, Lidos. I think there are two. Man, I don't have that. I think there's two Lidos missions coming up for this year, and then we have the DART mission. We could always speculate which one that could be. You know, it's a roll of the dice. It's a roll of the dice. It's Rocket Lab. It's Haste. So that's always fun. But yeah,
could you
either way, I'm happy.
Could you see this Haste launch being the start of a ramp up, or do you think it'll be as and when at the moment?
Man, that's a really good question, because I was thinking about this just yesterday, and I haven't even looked into it, but something told me that at the end of last year they had a good ramp up going into the end of the year. The fact that we're overdue for Haste, I mean, they had one mentioned or semi-scheduled for last month. It didn't happen, and again, I think it's just because of sorry, it's gonna get windy. I think again it's just because of the fact that they're just ramping up Wallops, and so the one for June is probably the one that's getting ready to happen in the next couple of days. And I mean, we did what, 4 and 4? Was it 4 and 4 or 5 and 5 the last 2 months?
Yeah, 5 and 5.
Man,
yeah.
I'm way off. Yeah, but yeah. And if we just keep that same cadence, we're looking at a really good year.
Do you know what? We really could be in for above 20 Electron launches in 1 year, including Haste. That would be phenomenal. Look,
I know. When Scott O said that, I was like, "You're crazy," and then I was like, "Wait a minute, he's a lot smarter than me. Maybe I should look into this." Now I'm scratching my head, going, "Man, this guy's really smart. Man, he really knows his stuff." Hey, again, Scott O, congrats, bro. So happy for you guys.
Oh, big shout out, brother. And look, I need to jump on and have a look at that weekly. Someone told me you brought the baby on the weekly, so big shout out to you, brother. Rest up, look after yourself, look after the family. And yeah, we will have you on again soon. Guys, we will have the 4 OGs back. We will have, well, Vince will be coming on, and then we will have Dave, Scott, and Matt back. But again, the stream's starting to build up here, and I want to reiterate, the reason we've now called it Fan Club, we want to split away and sort of show you guys we are not weekly. Weekly are amazing at what they do, but by calling ourselves daily, it just looks like we're a subsidy of weekly. So calling it Fan Club, look, it just goes more with the approach what we're doing. We're talking to all the fans, we're talking more interviews, more of our insights, rather than constantly directing it back to the news. And that's the reason for Fan Club. But I'm going to get back to the comments. So I've read this out. RW finally caught live. Now, RW, this is a bit of a clothesline question, because you knew we have a good relationship with these guys. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this comment up on the screen. If we get 5 comments asking us to answer this question, we will do, honestly. What do you think of the OG's thinking of Neutron being delayed? If we get 5 comments wanting us to answer that question, yeah, I think we will address it. RW, rest important, fellas. Do you know what? It feels so much better now. Do you like the new hairdo? You know, I have blue hair now. I did promise my eVTOL guys, if we got over 1,900 subs on a stream, I'd do it. And I really underestimated how much they wanted me to do something silly. So yes, I did do it.
Hey, that's a lot easier, bro. That's a lot easier than getting a freaking tattoo. Johnny Mac, if you're listening, I still hate you, bro. I love you, but yeah, I'd rather do blue hair than a tattoo any day. Yeah, you're getting off easy. I don't want to hear you complain.
Then Mopbox again, brother. Big shout out. You basically called this Haste before.
Mopbox is right. Mopbox is right. Let's give the man the credit. I was wrong. He was right. I love it. That's why we have these kind of people in our community, because they know their stuff. They're on top of it. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm excited. You guys know I'm a big Haste fan, so you know I like to be wrong when it's supposed to be. I think it's going to be Electron, and it's actually Haste. I'm happy about that. Thanks, Mop. It's awesome, bro.
And then Olga says the blue hair is cool. Thank you so much, Olga. Olga, in this next phase of our Rocket Lab journey, content creation, we will get you on. Whether it's an offline stream, whether it's an online stream, we will get you on. Just have a chat about Rocket Lab. Love your insight. You called it when it was $31. You said we ain't touching 28 until we break the all-time high. And what happened? So, no, thank you so much for your continued support in the community. You're always here. Big love. And then RW. Oh yes, nice hair, bro. Also, I remembered when you used to wear a hat, Liam, and I'd listened to your channel on Rocket Lab. Thank you so much. We have come a long way since then, haven't we? I did have a hat and I had a red wall in the background. Do you remember that? No, it's mad. I've looked over this last year. This whole journey has been amazing, and I want to thank you guys. Yeah, we were feeling a little bit rough towards the end of that, but we did push 30 days of constant streaming. So, no.
And we had a lot of help, too. We had a lot of help in those 30 days. So, you guys, I'd be here naming names for 10 minutes, but you guys, you all know who you are. You stepped up. We could not have done this without you. So, again, thank you very much. That was awesome.
And then you need to find someone in New Zealand who lives close to Rocket Lab range and assembly areas that can collect almost daily footage of developments. Look to the examples from the SpaceX fan clubs. Do you know what? NASA Spaceflight do a amazing live stream of Starbase. They do like a 24-hour stream. No, I am not promising anything like that whatsoever. But yeah, we will. Honestly, Alan has set us a challenge there. That is our first challenge of this phase. We will try. I'm not saying we will, but we will try and find someone close to New Zealand assembly areas that can get us footage. Look, I would believe Rocket Lab are very secretive on a lot of what they do. So I reckon it'd be quite hard to get footage, but look, we can try. We don't want anyone to get in trouble either. Olga believes Neutron will happen in 2025. Look, if you guys want us to talk about Neutron and 2025 and what the OG said, like RW asked us, if we do get 5 comments, we will address that matter. But Chris, I want to jump in. Ooh, there hasn't been immense Rocket Lab news over the weekend, but I do want to actually show something up. So there was a tweet that went out by Rocket Lab on, when was July 2nd? That was the day before it went off. Yeah, so there was a tweet that went out by Rocket Lab. It got deleted very quickly. There was speculation across the whole X community. What did they delete? Why did they delete it? Guys, I can confirm, because look, I seen this firsthand myself, that they just reposted the same thing. All they've done, I've done it many a times myself. When you post a link directly from YouTube, if you don't wait for it to load, it'll just come up as a link. If you wait for it to load, it'll come up as the video. And that's all that happened. They just deleted the same tweet and reposted it again. So guys, no need to speculate. Genuinely, it was just that frank post. Then let me jump back to the comments. RW, I agree with Olga. Brett, exactly. I believe everyone seems to be in the same boat about Neutron. I want to jump into this then, Chris. So the US Air Force halts plan for rocket landing pads on remote Pacific atoll amid environmental backlash. Look, we're talking about landing pads. Does this sort of, I don't know, instill the thought that Peter's going with the right approach on getting these barges out in the water, just exactly like SpaceX do, and landed Neutron directly on their own barge? What are you thinking?
Well, that's who they're having the issue with, is actually, I believe, that's SpaceX, and it's an EPA regulation kind of thing. And you're going to find that, oddly enough, some of the best places to launch from also has a lot of wildlife and protected areas. And I live in an area that's mostly protected, so I get that. Having the barge is definitely a plus, but people, they're going to find ways. I mean, you're talking about governments, you're talking about lots of money, so they're going to find ways to skirt around this stuff eventually. Those kind of delays, whether it's a SpaceX or Firefly, I don't care who it is. It's that's just a bump in the road. It's to be expected. It's we talked about this not too long ago. You get a lot of the red tape. People they want their money. They want their piece of the pie. So they're going to make them get permits. And they're going to make them do this because they just want a bunch of money. They see they're making a bunch of money, and they go, okay, well, now I'm going to create this new regulation that says you got to pay me $40,000 to be allowed to launch. I mean, it's or whatever it might be. It's a delay or it's a setback, but I think it's a bunch of nothing, to be honest with you.
Then I want to jump in. Well, do I? Don't I? Yeah, I will. So I'll jump in and look. Our good friend Space Ghost put up a post saying, Rock Lab, why you shouldn't worry about Neutron delays, and it's in one picture. Now, in this, you can see the Neutron, when they announced it delayed from 2024 to mid-25, you got still an ever-climbing stock. We then got Neutron delayed from mid-25 to H225. We did have a drop, but this whole drop was to do with the tariffs, everything that started happening in the macro market, and we've bounced right back. Neutron delay would not worry me. I'm just treading the line very, very carefully at the moment. Chris, what are your thoughts?
I'm not allowed to talk about Neutron delay, man. I got roasted a few weeks ago when I mentioned the fact that it won't happen at the end of September. Never said I didn't think it was going to happen this year. And I'm sure a lot of this probably stems from the fact that when the guys went on Saturday, that they're, if you look on the YouTube page, it says something about, Neutron delay confirmed or whatever. I don't know if you guys have met.
Getting into this question now.
Yeah,
we'll address this question direct. Go.
I just don't, I don't think that, maybe you don't really know Vince that great, but he's got a kind of a weird, awkward, wicked sense of humor. And he was probably just joking, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sure if you ask Vince straight up, like, hey, what do you really think? It's going to be a different take than what your perception is. And everything is about perception. You got to realize these guys are, they're YouTube people, and they're really good at what they do. And they're going to have fun with it. So if someone's going to ask me personally, Chris, do you think there's going to be a delay all the way until 2026? No. Flat out, no, I don't. It's not going to happen in September. I don't believe that. And I've always also said from day one, I can go back in the chats and show you from day one, my biggest concern has always been with the engine. Um, and Vince, to be fair, he did allude to the fact that, we have had engine qualifications, true, but we don't have any updates on that. And to be fair, I think most of us have expected some updates on the engine itself. And again, they're doing another engine for the second stage, the vacuum engine. So there's a lot to that. The rocket itself, no concerns. Wallops, no concerns. Everything that goes along with this outside the engine, that's been my main concern from day one. And I think that's going to be the catalyst for when we actually get ready to launch. I think everything will be in place and they're going to be doing final testing, but I do believe it's going to happen this year. I do believe it's going to happen this year.
And guys, I kind of want to address that question too. So honestly, look, there was a lot of, I think it was primarily directed at Vince, a lot of that hate that was going around X and even in his comments. Guys, you got to take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt. I think we very quickly dive in when we hear bad news, and it's very easy to scald anyone that says something bad about a stock. Look, if we ask Vince today, should he have said official announcement? No, he probably shouldn't have said it. And I think he'll agree with us. He shouldn't. But should we be hating on him? I've seen guys there unsubscribe, unfollow. Guys, come on. Be realistic. I think RW said it really nicely.
Vince has done some great things for this community. He's given a lot of his time. Again, we don't make money off this. I know you guys probably think that we're making crazy money. I haven't made a dime. I put hours and hours. Vince is the same way, and he's got 1,000 kids. He's very busy with his business. He does a lot for this community, and it's not easy. It's not easy going live. It's not easy putting yourself out there, especially to someone that doesn't really know you very well. It can be difficult. So we're gonna, give him all the grace in the world on this. And it's not easy. What if he's 100? What if he did say that it's going to get delayed till mid next year? And what if he nails it on the head? Then what are you going to say? Chris is wrong. Liam is wrong. It's going to go the opposite direction. So, we're all in this together, man. We're all in this together. We're trying to make the best predictions. We're trying to give the best advice, and we're doing our best trying to bring everybody together. Because again, we're strong as a community, and having people like Vince that have, and the Maddies and Daves and Scottos in the world that have done all this for us, and gave their time, they deserve the credit. And I'm not gonna take anything away from them, because I'm wrong all the time. You guys know me, man. I'm gonna say crazy stuff all the time, because I'm going to have fun with it, and that's probably what they're doing too. So back off a little bit. No offense, but it's not insane to actually think that there could be a need for dilution and more money raised. It's not. It's just not. It's space, man. It's hard. They're building a freaking brand new rocket, brand new, all new stuff. I mean, yeah, they've done it before with Electron, but how many out there of you guys can actually build a freaking rocket like that? I can't do it. So as an investor, would I sell? No. I'd hope it crashes right back on down so I can double down and buy more. I believe in the company long term. We can sit here and speculate for hours on, is this going to launch here? Is this going to launch then? And what launch is this going to be 5 years from now? It's not going to mean a damn thing. It's not going to mean a damn thing. It really isn't.
I kind of want to debunk some of the things that was being said around X2 about the likes of Vince. I seen there was some people saying he was trying to drive the price down. Guys, honestly, we were on RKLB Weekly, so I think we can, from a first-hand experience, tell you exactly Vince is for you guys as a community. And you need to think sometimes, it's very easy to go on X and be a keyboard warrior because no one knows who you are, and you hide. Like, look, you're willing to do it, free speech, you can do whatever you want. But look, he really is there for the community. First thing he said to us when we went on, he is trying to build that community that all you guys get the best information that you can, so you can make an educated assessment of the company yourselves without us pushing any sort of sides. He is 100% for it. Number two, that is thing was clickbait. Look, you can say it's clickbait, but at the same time, is it really clickbait if you were going to watch RKLB weekly anyway? Because I can see 99% of the guys, I recognize you from the comments, 99% of the guys that are killing them for clickbait, you were clicking on it anyway. So why does he need to clickbait you? Honestly, guys, look, you're giving the guy a hard time. I know he shouldn't have said official. That's a mistake on his part. Look, we all learn. Look, if I ever do something like that, I make thumbnails every single day, and look, I'm bound to make it. Markbox knows me. Remember me at the very, very start, Markbox. It was about the hot fire engine, and as a content creator, when you first start out, you're trying to sort of like pull words in that sort of are associated to something. And I said something about a hot announcement about the Archimedes engine, and everyone took me up as clickbait because I used the word hot and engine, and they thought I was referring to the hot fire test. Guys, you do make mistakes in this space. Vince will learn from this. He'll hold his hands up and say they shouldn't have, but there's no point everyone jumping on his back, because you guys would be the same guys if he calls off weekly and says, look, I've taken too much abuse from this. There's no point in me doing it.
No, he's not going to do that. As a matter of fact, he's probably going to double down on it and go, "Yep, it's going to get delayed till 2028, just to screw with you guys, man." Which will be hilarious. And I've got Vince's back on this 100%. It's not easy, man, especially going live.
We all got to stick together. We're all on the same team.
Yeah,
you know?
man, we're on the same page, man. We're on the same page. We're all trying to invest and learn more. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like the whole ASTS versus Rocket Lab thing. That's just ignorant. I mean, everybody's trying to make money. That's what it all comes down to. We're blessed that we even have communities like this. We can even have these discussions in the first place. No, man. Vince is a great guy. He's gonna take it with a grain of salt. He's gonna have fun with it. So the next video is gonna be Neutron's launching next week or something crazy like that. Just out of spite, just to have fun with it. Because it's difficult, man. Like Liam said, you go live and your brain is thinking 10 times faster than your mouth can move. And you're going to say things the wrong way. I say things backwards, and I have a speech impediment. I have a slight lisp, so it's even harder. And I stutter sometimes. And believe me, I go back and I listen. I'm like, man, you're an idiot sometimes. But at the same time, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and that's where we want to keep it fun. We don't want to have the drama and stuff. Let's go back on X. You want drama? Just go back to X. You'll find a lot of it on there. You'll find more than you need.
I seen it trending, and I was like, "What has Chris done?" When I seen Rocket Lab trending, all these people giving out, and I was like, "What has Chris done? What has Chris done?"
I've been off. I've been researching. As a matter of fact, I've been so busy, man. I haven't, believe it or not, I haven't even messaged Francisco or Yanni in like a day or two, that never happens. But I have deep dived into a lot of stuff, and we've already been going on for a while. And I'm going to hit the tip of the iceberg on a lot of this stuff. I found out some really cool, just fun stuff. But yeah, at some point, doesn't have to be right now. We should probably jump back in the comments, but I do want to hit on some stuff on the Golden Dome, and I do want to hit on Space Force as far as what just happened with the big beautiful bill and the money that's coming or getting allocated to them. And of all things, jump into Palantir. I would love to have Brett Krieger on. Oh my God, it would be so much better for this. And again, guys, this is why we have you guys in the community. I love Palantir. I bought early, sold too early, got back in, sold again like an idiot. Well, not like an idiot. I needed the money, let's just be honest. But I like Palantir. I didn't understand nothing about it in the beginning, but when I started realizing how much they're actually involved in space, I like them even more. So yeah, we'll get back in the comments, and get time, we'll jump back into that.
Perfect. I'll clear through these comments and then we can talk straight away. And yeah, Palantir would be quite an interesting one to talk with Brett, Matt, and Vince about, because they're all really big into Palantir. But we have RW. They're one of the reasons that I got into RKLB. Yeah, guys, I think they're one of the reasons that a lot of us have stayed highly convicted in RKLB on certain occasions. So yeah. Then let me catch up to these. So we have, yeah, but it's easy to throw off comments if you bought in at $4. Honestly, that's what I was thinking. RW says, I feel like it's humor, much like what goes next. Yeah, honestly, with the title at least. Jacob, big shout out, brother. Congratulations on the interview with Ashley Vance. Absolutely loved it. You smashed it, my guy. Look, you're going to take over my job here. Just come in. You'll be the host of the Hustle Brothers. Just take over the Hustle Brothers, my guy. RW, yeah, I think that went a bit too far. Yeah, guys, honestly, it's the last thing I'm going to say about it is, if anyone did put a negative comment, just maybe go back. It's easy to do stuff in the hype at the moment and when everyone else is doing it, but just go back and just think he is a person. Just think of his good does outweigh his bad. It was a mistake with, look, if he didn't put official there, no one would be saying nothing. So yes, he shouldn't have done it, but look, don't bite the hand that feeds you either. He's giving you enjoyment every Saturday. So yeah, don't blow his confidence either. Then Dave did a similar heading some weeks prior, but to his credit, he altered it. Yeah, and like, to be fair, we don't know what Vince is at the moment. Vince is in a completely different time zone to even me. It's 1:10 in the morning for Vince, and he does have a big family, so he may not have even seen it on X. RW, yes, that's the issue with the community, was the definitiveness of the title. I agree with Mark, the use of the words, but I think that's the effect he wanted, the reaction of the people. And the thing is, you could look at the flip side. He did get the engagement. Look, it is trending. And whether you...
That's a win. That's a win. I mean, that's just a win.
I love it.
They're on YouTube. They're trying to get views. They're trying to bring more people in. It's not ignorant in the long term. And again, once you get in, I mean, because you guys, you see some of our stuff and you're like, if you're a first time viewer, you're like, that Chris guy, man, he doesn't know nothing. He's an idiot. And then, 3 or 4 streams later, actually says a bunch of numbers and crazy stuff. And like, well, okay, yeah, he actually isn't just an idiot. Not every single stream is going to be exactly what you anticipate or you want it to be. We're all human. I honestly, again, the wording doesn't bother me. I read it, but I was going to watch anyway. I watch it every Saturday. That's just me. But yeah, I agree. Vince is family to us, and he always will be. He might have just been tired. I mean, he might have just been typing away, not thinking, and not having any sleep because he's got 1,000 kids and never sleeps. So he could have just been tired. Anything can happen, man. We're human. We're not robots.
And then RW says, interesting, Olga, Markbox, haha. Honestly, Markbox, keep doing what you're doing on X. I'm really, really loving your posts lately. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Absolutely love it. Brett, lol, Vince will be laughing. And that's the thing. Look, we're all human. And as a community, we'll all look back and laugh at this. Just don't be the guy that looks back and think, look, I might have went a bit too hard on him. So, look, we'll all laugh together, but at the same time, don't laugh at someone else's expense, please. Brett said it really nicely there. Lol, Vince will be laughing. Then, Olga, exactly. Then, honestly, I just wanted to know, what did you guys think about Neutron potentially being delayed, or whether you guys... I believe
it's not going to fly. Hey, man, this is official. This is official. Neutron is not going to fly until 2035. That's official. Holy shit.
I believe it'll be delayed. Like, it never got announced for September, so it's not really delayed. But I believe it'll be the end of the year. I do think it'll fly this year. This is not
We have.
an official announcement, but yes.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
do
screwing
think
around, man.
it's
It's not an official announcement. What I can tell you officially, though, is that they do have a launch window from the end of September until the last day of December. That is official. They do have that launch window. So if it's not September, if it's not October, I mean, I'm not going to get worried until it's like the, second week in December. That's what I'll be concerned. Right now, I think that they're all hands on deck and they're busting their butts. What is it? Their hiring process has increased of like over 60% in the last year. I mean, they're bringing people in as fast as they can, and there's jobs posted. I mean, um, they're they're obviously growing. So yeah, I'm going to stay confident. I'm going to believe in Peter Beck, and I think that we're going to see a launch before the end of this year.
I do think there'll be a launch for the end of the year. Yes, Peter said they're following an aggressive timeline, but he's always said they're following an aggressive timeline. That's nothing new to us. Look, we said it before, whether it happens next week, whether it happens in 6 months, whether it happens in a year. Matt Money said it really nicely. In 2035, we're not going to care that when it launched, as long as it has launched by then. But
yeah.
Markbox said, I can never do what you guys do. I hide behind an anonymous account. Respect. No, Markbox, I couldn't do what you do, honestly. I think we're all cogs working for the same cause. We're all.
Mobbox is a robot. Mobbox is a robot, dude. He's like Francisco, man. I don't know how he does what he does. It's amazing, amazing work. Look, if you guys are out there listening and you don't know what a Mopbox is, believe me, you're missing out. Go follow him on X. You don't need to listen to me anymore. Just follow that guy. I steal from him all the time. No, I'm just kidding. We always give credit to where credit's due, and we love having you on, man. I know that you don't want to be live. Totally respect that, but we're going to give credit. Always give credit to the people that give us the information. So thanks for everything.
Jacob, has my accent sounded like I said something else? What did you just call us? Cogs in the same machine. Then we have
Jacob's being bad. He's being really bad right now. Man, we love Jacob. Yeah, calm down there, Jacob. Calm down. Love you, bro.
Then love your material on X. Yeah, Mopbox, honestly, we couldn't do the likes of our shows without people like you, without people like Francisco. Genuinely, there's so many of you, Space Calls. There's so many of you guys that share information with us. And then Brett says there is a slight problem between investors' time and OGs call them for $15, for example, when half the audience have bought at $20. Could be more sensitive, maybe. Yeah, honestly. But at the same time, we shouldn't follow anyone for financial advice. My eVTOL guys have always said to me, I'm always great on the right industry, following it the whole way, and then exiting at the wrong time or buying in at the wrong time. So look, never follow the Hustle Brothers, never follow the Haste.
Yeah, don't follow me for financial advice, man. I'm the last person you want to listen to. Now, as far as research and we joke about the numbers. If you want to DM me, at some point, like, hey, Chris, can you check this? I'm happy to do it. I'll check it out. I love jumping down rabbit holes. I love doing the research. It's fun to me. It's not a job. It's fun. But it's not financial advice. It's just the things that I see. But believe me, if I was making millions of dollars a year and going crazy, then maybe I might give financial. But no, don't follow me. Don't follow me for financial advice, man. I mean, look at me. I'm sitting on my back porch with my phone facing the river, talking to the likes of all you about a bunch of stuff that only halfway comprehend, and just laughing and having a good time. Yeah, not financial advice, but to be fair, we have friends again, like everybody in the chats. I mean, we got you guys are why we're here. I mean, we get the information from a lot of you people. So if you're not following each other, follow each other because you're all amazing. You're all amazing what you do. We're just a voice for everyone out there, or at least we're trying to be. And sometimes, yeah, we come up with some crazy conspiracies along the way. Have some fun along the way.
Like these swings and roundabouts, we were hated on ourselves when we ran RKLB Weekly, and we said, can't really see it breaking the $40 this week. And I mean the comments we got because we said it won't break $40. And we could see it just sitting in the 30s. And look, I actually think I said it potentially could come down if the macro market pulled back. Look, I was wrong again. But look, price targets, anything. Look, price targets, don't follow YouTubers on price targets. I've been stung myself so badly when I first started investing. Just don't follow anyone when it comes to price targets, please.
We can have like a fun
I don't
game
even think
with
analysts know what they're doing when it comes to price targets.
No, that's why we call them analysts because they don't know what they're doing at all. And I went on a rant last week, and even Jacob he was laughing at me. But we can't have fun with it. I mean, if we just want to have like a fun, friendly poll where we're not going to, eat each other alive because you said this or that. Sure, we can give end-of-year price targets and we can have fun with it, but we're not gonna. You're not gonna hold me to crap, all right, guys. I'm just not gonna deal with all that
sensitive to have like 50, 60
Oh, we're too sensitive.
56. After we were getting hated on RKLB Weekly, I was like, Chris, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I can't do this. Big shot, Chris.
Well, the thing is that I gotta care enough. I really do. Look, it's different, man. I've got amazing kids. I got a very full life, so I just all that negative stuff. I filter that out very easily. But I'm old, man. I'm 48, so I've lived it. So it's a lot easier to do that. I focus on the positive. That's what I do. I focus on the positive. That's for anything: investing, life, business, work, whatever it is. Just focus on the positive. You can't control the negative. That's gonna happen. That's just fucking life. Screw it.
Jeff actually has a really good thing. What if he had just forgot the question mark? Then, if it was something simple like that, then everyone would be feel a little bit sorry for him. So just be careful what we say, guys. RW, yes, congrats, Jacob. Yeah, guys, if you haven't seen it, make sure to go back and check out Jacob's spaces. He runs them every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, but he did have a really good one last Wednesday. Look, Jacob, my guy, they're all good, but you did have a really good one last Wednesday. It had Ashley Vance on it, guys, talking absolutely everything space industry. You have to check it out. So make sure straight after this you jump across to X and find the spaces chat.
And I behaved myself as I promised. I behaved myself. I didn't raise my hand. I didn't ask any questions, but I did hit him in the chats a little bit, and which was funny because he did actually ask them. And Ashley Vance is planning on being at the Neutron investors party on Wallops, which we don't know a date yet because we're actually waiting on his team to email me back, and we'll be setting a date around somewhere around the end of September, early October. But again, waiting on them, but that's happening. So kind of just dropped that news out there, didn't we? So yeah, Ashley Vance is going to be at the Neutron party for a big barbecue. Bring your books. He'll do a book signing. We'll be going live, be interviewing, whole 9 yards. It's going to be a blast, not to be missed. Spots are just about filled up, but DM me if you're interested or think you can make it out. It is limited, but there are other options as well if that does fill up. I'm not going to limit anybody. I mean, I don't own Virginia, it's Wallops Island or whatever, but yeah, we'll make it happen for as many people as we can make it happen. But yeah, Ashley Vance, Neutron party. Let's do it.
And then Alan Niven says, is Escapade Mars pay funded for launching in the autumn? So Francisco actually shared this with me last day that it's push for no earlier than the third quarter 2025. It feels like, when are we going to get this escapade mission off the ground? Look, at this stage, Neutron will be launching. We can just shovel on a Neutron. But Chris, do you know, is it pair funded?
Yeah, you're right. That's a Francisco question. And I feel bad because we had this same conversation. Me and him and Yanni had the same conversation. Not, man, maybe like a month ago, maybe a month or so ago. And I should know the answer because sometimes I think Francisco gets frustrated with me. He's like, Chris, I told you this 4 times already, man. Come on, catch up. He's like Grok, but better. Love that guy. But sorry, bro. I mean, I don't have the answer to that question. I mean, I'm not going to BS anybody when I get on here.
But that's the beautiful thing about RKLB Fan Club. If we don't know the answer, we will be dead serious and tell you we don't know the answer. However, this is what RKLB Fan Club's all about. Guys, if any of you do know the answer, please jump into the comments and let us know. We do try and read out every single comment and address every single comment. So do jump in and let our good friend Alan know. You're not only letting Alan know, you're letting the whole community know. And again, you get a big shout out. So Alan, thank you for the great question. I am so sorry that me and Chris are 2 idiots and we can't answer it.
But I know the answer. It's like on the tip of my tongue. It's driving me freaking crazy because, again, I've talked about it with Yanni and Francisco on multiple occasions. And I should know this, but
I'll be honest.
I'm looking at, we've been off for 3 days. I'll be honest with you guys, been off for 3 days, and I've done way more research than, is probably, healthy for anybody. And I've got pages and pages of notes, and we haven't even hit one of them. And I'm not complaining. I'm having a lot of fun. So my mind is not focused on, and I apologize, my mind is not focused on where it would normally be when it comes to stuff like that. But if you are following Francisco or Johnny Mac, they can easily answer the question. Again, tip of my tongue, I do apologize, but I hate to give you the BS answer, and that's not what we do here. So, but great question, man. Great question.
And guys, today I have no time restrictions, so we will get on to Chris's thoughts. So do stick around. They are going to be interesting, and I'm very excited to hear them. I haven't actually got to speak to Chris at all until pre-stream, so even myself is dying to hear what he has to say. There's a lot about the Space Force. There's a lot about the big, beautiful bill, and then that beautiful company, Palantir, but we will wait for that. RW, I was originally thinking fall, winter launch. September always felt too early. It did feel too early, but at the same time, with that aggressive timeline, do you know when you just get that hope inside you and you're like, do you know what? If they can pull this off, this will be insane. But yeah, no, it is looking like an end of year launch. When the pad won't be completed until more than likely late summer. And then Markbox says, lol, Jacob, what did you just call us?
It's love, Jacob.
I love you guys.
It's the Irish accent, man. It's the Irish accent. And Jacob, I was laughing too. I was like, what did you just say, man? What did you just say? But I give him hell for it. Hey, man, the guy's got blue hair. Give him a break. If anything, man, we have fun here, right? If anything, we have a lot of fun. You guys are awesome.
And then Alan, RKLB built the Escapade spacecraft. Alan, the launch date is currently targeted for Q3 25 in the Blue Origin New Glenn. It is indeed. And then that is the barbecue or brisket. You heard anyone that was following Jacob's stream, Ashley Vance is coming to Christopher's barbecue. His brisket party. Chris, do you want to talk about your brisket party before we get into your exciting news that will get you trending on X, my guy?
Well, it won't be a party without Jacob. I can tell you that. And you'll have to correct your, your accent, or he just might get a little too excited. Man, we love Jacob. But yeah, Ashley Vance will be out. We're communicating with with those guys out there right now. If you guys don't already do it, jump into at Core Memory. Ashley does some really fun stuff. I love this guy. I cannot wait to talk to him. We always ask him about a lot of space questions, but I don't know if you guys know this, but I've actually done 5 or 6 magazine articles and been working on my own life story in a book. It's not for sale or nothing like that. But anyway, I just have like, I want to get to know the guy, basically. More of a, like a personal level, not personal, but you know what I mean. Um, uh, Maybe not so many space questions for me, but just get to know him. But we're gonna have him out. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Yeah, we're gonna have 2 nights on. Right now, we're looking at Chickatig, which is just above Wallops. They have a lot more infrastructure. There's more restaurants. Look, Wallops is Eastern Shore is really long. It's thin. There's not a lot of options, and you don't want to be sitting in traffic for hours if there is an actual launch. Now we're not planning it around a launch. We're just going to have an investors party. If we get lucky, we get lucky, but no promises of that. But yeah, 2 nights. We're gonna have it catered for 2 days, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. And we'll be doing a lot of live streaming. Anybody that's there is welcome to come on live with us. Everyone's welcome to come on live with us. Of course, if you don't want to be seen, let us know prior. We'll make sure you don't get in front of a camera or nothing like that. We're not going to force anything on anybody and scare you. Just walk around like it's a wedding and just film. We're not going to do that, but we are going to have a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Right, this is like letting a greyhound out of the hatches. Chris, speak to me. What have you been diving into, my brother?
Well, man, first of all, I've been holding on to the Ashley Vance news for almost a month. So I'm glad to get that off my shoulders. I've been holding on that for a while. And there's 2 or 3 of you guys out there that has also been doing the same thing. So, man, that's how you know you can trust people. You know what I mean? That's how you know you can trust people. Because this is not going to be easy to pull off, and I am getting help. So you know who you are. Thank you. But yeah, so we did get the big beautiful bill got signed, and we've seen Stock Track Girl put out a great video just recently about what stocks have the best advantage going forward, or possible best advantage. So it got me going down a rabbit hole, obviously, and started looking at money and how the money is going to be allocated. And so you start looking at different companies, and a lot of them are going to be very obvious. Most of them are going to be very obvious, but I just wanted to just run a few things by you guys really fast, get you thinking a little bit outside the box. Give me 2 or 3 minutes to run through this. It's going to be kind of quick, but I want to just kind of touch on everything. I'm not going to get too deep, and then if we can later on, moving forward, we find out more about the contracts. We'll definitely dive more into it. But so I'm looking at this as far as space on 2 different sections. One being the Golden Dome itself, and the second is Space Force. If you look at the money that's being projected for the Golden Dome, the initial amount, and Space Force, it's lots and lots of billions and billions of freaking dollars. And if you know how the government works, they might really want a lot going to the Golden Dome, but they're going to try and hide a little bit of it for whatever purposes, tax purposes, lobbyist purposes, things of that nature. So Space Force obviously is going to be working in conjunction with the Golden Dome project in a lot of ways. So, and again, I've only had a small amount of time to look into this, so take a lot of this for a grain of salt, but it'll be fun if you jump into the rabbit holes. I'm going to run through a few companies really quick. Obviously, Lockheed Martin, who does have a relationship with Rocket Lab. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Raytheon, L3 Harris, SpaceX, ULA, Palantir. Jump into that in a second. Anduril, obviously Northrop, ASGS, we're not going to leave them out. Rocket Lab, Jacobs. I think a lot of people kind of looking over Jacobs, and Oracle is another one that's a possibility. Of course, Blue Origin and SpaceX, but we can't invest in those, so we're not going to include those in the conversation. I left out Kratos, but I'm actually looking at Kratos being into the more of the Space Force as far as what the money is being allotted for, not directly related to the Golden Dome, but still working with companies that are getting contracts and they're kind of working together. We're seeing that now with Rocket Lab working with Kratos and doing some launches for them. So a lot of these companies are kind of overlap with those two sectors. Again, I'm going through this kind of fast, but I just wanted to get through this, and then we can talk more about it once we get past it. The biggest thing that jumped out to me, because I'm a little ignorant, as much as I like Palantir, like I said earlier, I didn't really understand what they did. I'm a big space nerd, and so I started doing some research and realized, holy crap, Palantir is all in space. I mean, I'm sorry, I should have known this already. Brett's probably going to like smack me through the phone, but yeah. And the thing that really got me was they started April of 2020. I think was the first time they got a contract with Space Force, and the name of the contract or the name of the mission is the Kobayashi Maru. And I was like, that's awesome. If you're a space nerd like me, it's from Star Trek. I mean, and maybe it's stupid, but I mean, you know, I like space, so screw it. But there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money that Palantir has already been contracted for. It's around $570 million in total contracts since 2022. That was news to me. I'm sure a lot of you Palantir guys already knew that, but that was news to me. You look in comparison to Rocket Lab over the last, well, not the exact same time frame, but as far as overall awarded missions to date, they're around 604 million. Yeah, Chris is, pulling out some numbers, and actually, I'm probably going to be off on that 604. That's just what I've found so far, but as always, there's going to be a few small contracts that I've missed or I've just kind of overlooked. Again, that's what you have the guys in the comments. But there's a lot of opportunity out there, and some of these companies are very expensive. And if you're a new investor, it's probably not the best advice to go out there, or not advice, I'm sorry, but the best mindset to go out there and go and spend $200 or $300 a share, $400 a share for, a larger company. But there's a lot of smaller companies out there, whether you're looking at an ASTS or a Kratos or a Rocket Lab, or even, in my opinion, if Palantir is looking to get some of these contracts, because right now the rumor is, or maybe it's been confirmed, I don't know, but they're working with SpaceX and Anduril on some of these Golden Dome projects. Again, I can't bring receipts on that. It's just some of the stuff I've been seeing as I've been diving down these rabbit holes. But if that's the case, then you were probably still early on Palantir too.
Could you
billions
ever sort of see Rocket Lab partnering with the likes of an Anduril? We know they work very closely with Kratos, but Anduril does have that strong partnership with Palantir, and it'd be an easier entry from Palantir to Rocket Lab if it was through the likes of an Anduril. Could you ever see it, or do you think they're just going to stick with Kratos?
I mean, it's Rocket Lab. I mean, you think one thing one day, and then 2 days later, they're just surprising you. And the more I'm looking into Anduril, the more and more, man, I hope they go public. I really like that company. I really do. And Peter Beck's the kind of person, he's more of a team player. The only reason I think they're not working with SpaceX is because Musk tried to kind of steal some of his ideas. A little controversial, and some people might not agree, but that's what happened. So he might be a little hesitant, but overall, I think he wants space to succeed. In one way or another, he'd love for his company to be the one that gets the majority of the contracts, obviously, but he's not voting or hoping for someone else to not succeed. I just watched Wild Wild Space again the other day, and it's weird when you watch it now compared to like when it first came out, and how far Rocket Lab has come, and where Asher is, and the whole attitude that Kemp portrayed, and how Beck was, and I found that really funny. Because there shouldn't be that kind of competition. It should be, I mean, it's for all humankind, or it should be. And there shouldn't be that competition. That's why I never understood the hate from random people in comments or comparisons to different companies. And this company's going to be better. Great. That's great. They're better. Go invest. please, and teach me more about it. And that's how, in my opinion, that's how it should be.
Nah, and you sort of hit on a point there about this whole invest in different companies and one doing better than the other. And it sort of brings to light the likes of ASTS. And I'd love to bring Ann Panman back on, and I'd love to bring Space Investor on, and AST Space Odyssey on, and sort of have a discussion why that, I don't know, the two communities seem to have that, not hatred, hatred's a strong word, but that sort of animosity to each other. But I'm sort of taken away from your thoughts there. So we're talking about the Iron Dome, but then we're talking about the big, beautiful bill. And the big, beautiful bill kind of plays into the Iron Dome, but you have had that funding get increased to Space Force. Could you see Rocket Lab being a big player in the Iron Dome, or do you believe they'll be selected for other projects with Space Force?
I have a surprise for you. I have a surprise for you. I've got numbers for you, buddy. I was waiting for this. You guys are going to love this. So let's say that Rocket Lab gets 10% of the entire overall contract, whether it's space systems, launch, whole
the
9
Iron
yards.
Dome is this, or is this?
Total between the Iron Dome and Space Force. Okay, so that's, you think about that, that's kind of low end. So I'm going almost, kind of almost a bearish case, not really. I'm trying to take more of a, not a worst case, but more of a, let's just be realistic. Let's say it's only 10%. Over the actually high relevance categories. So it could be a bit more, it could be a bit less, but you're looking at a yield of over $2 billion in contracts, minimum, 15 to 20 billion market cap by 2027. It'd be 1.25, 1.3 billion in revenue and roughly 250 to 280 million in positive free cash flow by 2027.
By 27.
So
and that's your bearish case.
I think that's a fair case. That's, I mean, you're talking 10% of a minimum of like 50 something billion dollars. So and again, I did this 15 minutes before we came on, but
no, you worked all weekend over it, mate.
No. I was looking, man. I really like Palantir a whole lot now, man. I was looking I'm one of those idiots that invested in Palantir because I listen to other people and I didn't know enough about the company. And that's why I bought and sold and don't own it now because I'm an idiot. So again, don't take my advice. But again, when I saw what they were doing in space and the possibilities of what they're doing moving forward, there's a big wow factor in there for me. So I wasn't looking a lot into Rocket Lab. I was looking a lot into Palantir and a couple of other companies. Again, like Kratos. I don't see them being directly involved. I could be wrong, but I think they're going to be getting a large, whatever portion of money they get for this whole project between Space Force and Golden Dome. I think it's going to be more from the Space Force side. I know that's a small, little, stupid technical, but I'm just, normally I don't get into numbers, and I'm anti-number guy, but I'm investing, so at times when I have the time to do research, I'm going to freaking look at the numbers. I'd be dumb not to. But again, I could be wrong on those numbers, what I just said. But again, that's why we have you guys in the community to come tell me when I'm wrong, which I love. I'm wrong a lot. But I mean, I think I'm pretty darn close.
Chat, do let me know. Are you liking Chris's thinking? This is why we love having Chris here. He does fire from the hip completely. And look, he can put cases like that across and you think they can be absolutely wild, you will come back then in the likes of 3 or 4 months' time on certain occasions and you'll be like, where did he get this information from? So, guys, never dismiss what Chris says. Again, not financial advice. I'm not saying follow Chris, but never dismiss what he said. Like, we can name off a good few things that you called very, very early on. UK, you called that. What else did you call? Neutron, you said wouldn't be in September. Very, very early on. What else did we have? I'm pretty sure you said something about Flatterlight. Have we anything else?
There's about 5 or 6 more things over in the South Pacific, but you know what? I'm also wrong a lot too, so so it's all good. No, I appreciate it. No, but I mean, be realistic. I mean, it's fun. I mean, yeah, that's why we do the research, though. You know, that's why we do the research, and that's why we have the people in the chats. Like, again, I thought that the next launch out of Wallops was going to be Electron. Mopbox was like, nope, it's going to be Haste, and he was right, and I love him for it. I love him for it. That's the beauty of this. You know, it's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to not do not try. It's not okay to not try. It's not okay to not push yourself to, even if it's a guess. Explore the guess. You know, go and research it.
Like, we're only here to elaborate our own theses and sort of spread them out to the community. We're actually quite happy when we're wrong because we get to update our thesis to what it actually should be. So, guys, never be afraid to call us out. We'll never call you out and get annoyed with you. Look, if we have information that makes us think differently, we'll always show our side why we think it. But we're always open to being wrong. And guys, again, this is VTOL Fan Club. You're always welcome to join in, call in. Doesn't matter whether you're a content creator or not. We've spoken to some big guys, but look, absolutely anyone is welcome to join. Don't care if you have 1 share, million shares, no shares. It really doesn't matter. Chris,
I think I'm right. I do think I'm right. That 15 and 20 billion market cap by 2027. On the probably the lower end. That's at 10% of the total Golden Dome and Space Force, and that's just this year. Most people aren't even thinking about that. That's just what's coming out this year. Every year they renew, contracts, and they'll allocate more money, and no one spends more money on defense than the U.S. government. Dude, that's a 15 to 20 billion dollar market cap within 2 years. That's crazy. Yeah, I like those numbers.
What I want to start doing, Chris? I want to start tying in conversations from one stream to another. So we're gonna always have a question, yeah, where the two of us have to go and research, yeah, and come back the next day knowing as much as we can about the answer. We may not be correct, we may not have the right answer, but at least we'll get more information on something. Guys, if you want us to go away and research something, not something absolute insane. We are people as well. We're working everyday people. We're not robots that sit behind the screen, but do jump in. And if you have a question that you want us to go away, it could be something like that escapade. Who funds it? I think that'd be a nice one.
You know, we could just have a daily challenge. So, every day we have something like this to where it's not just us. That's why we're a community. That's why we have these people in here. And collectively, that could be our daily challenge. We all work together and use our individual talents and come together with a, more educated, I don't want to say guess, but you guys know what I mean, on whatever particular subject that we're discussing for that day.
I also want to start doing comment of the day as well. And there's one comment here that I absolutely loved. It was by Alan Niven. You need to find someone in New Zealand who lives close to rocket lab, range, and assembly areas that can collect almost daily footage of developments. Looks examples from the SpaceX fan clubs. That comment really sticks out to me today. Maybe also Jacob's comment about what he thinks I said did make me laugh. I do want to actually share my screen on something now too. So, guys, I do want to share this. I did put this up the last day, and I want to end on this. This is a quote I put up the last day when we finished the challenge. But this quote is exactly what I mean when I talk about the likes of Vince. And this is why I want you to come off this. You need to go to Jacob's stream and watch that with Ashley Vance. But I want you to rethink some of the comments you made about Vince today. When you seek mastery, you end up getting lost in your own craft. And we fell into that ourselves. We were seeking mastery within this space, and we did end up getting lost in our own craft. But guys, he is human. He is only trying his best for the community. Yes, it may have been a slip on words. He may have meant it, he may not have meant it. That's not for me to say. But guys, do think before you do anything. This guy is one of the OGs in the community. He's why a lot of us have remained convicted in the community. Just show the guy a little bit of love. Please go onto X and just give him a shout out. Give him support. Give him love. My name's Liam. This has been RKLB Fan Club. I'm one of the Hustle Brothers here. I am here with my good friend, Christopher Bell. Chris, it's been a new phase, new challenge, new name.
Yeah, I don't.
The same banter. Go on.
Yeah, but no doubt, no doubt. And I'm so excited. Again, we only hit the tip of the iceberg tonight. We have been off for 3 days. Just got a chance to talk today, and we've got a lot of amazing guests lined up. Just amazing. It's going to be so much fun. The new challenges coming up. We've got so much more to get into, but tonight, we just kind of, do what we do, man. Kind of lay back a little bit. I did, give me some credit tonight. I did bring some numbers. But please check them out. I want some feedback on them because I'm wrong all the time, right? But if I'm right, could be a lot of fun going forward. So yeah, thanks everyone. It's been a lot of fun. Can't wait for tomorrow. See you next time.
Guys, remember, when you seek mastery, you end up getting lost in your own craft. Until tomorrow, guys.